I think we are ready to go. All right. This is Thomas with BCR. This is my third video. Today is 11/18/24. Switching up the format a little bit. Um, Today we are going over buying a rental property, how to deal with that, and expected expenses and net income. All right. So this is an Excel sheet I made last night. Kind of goes over the basics. Let me know if you have any questions. All right. So I bought a property about roughly 2 years ago for 147. Um, Now that also came up with 10,000 in cost to bring up. That's above the purchase price. Plus, it took three of us, 3 to 5 of us, um, and 8 weeks of work. And you can see the minimum here and maximum over here. And that's just to bring it up to um, par value so that people can come in, take a look at it, and see if they actually want to stay here or not. Um, so the loan currently being used is known as a HELOC. A HELOC is a variable rate interest only payments. That means there's no principal involved when I pay my monthly payment to the bank. So if I want to actually pay my principal, I have to let them know or make a payment once I've paid my interest for the month. Um, all right, that's something I'll go over after. Over here is so this yearly ratio of expected net after overhead. So this one represents 100% of the year gross income. This negative 72% is this down here. The expense for the year, so gross over yearly expense, which means I am looking at 100% minus 72 in expenses, which means for this property I should have roughly 28% as my net. Uh, all right, so over the course of this time, I have been able to drop it down significantly from the purchase price of the 147. And you can also add that 10,000 back in if you want to, because that's technically part of the total cost. It's up to you. So I have in that time frame I have dropped it from the 107 down to 106 with a 41,000 change. So from the start, and now I'm sitting at 7% times the 106, and that's going to be part of my overhead. So just in interest, I'll be paying 7,420. And if you want to see the monthly, it's down here. Roughly 618. Um, and then this is kind of, I broke it down over here as well, the total overhead. So in the blue here, you're at 150. Now these are expected. The damage may not happen this month, but it's going to happen at some point. So roughly, you need to allocate 1,800. It's going to happen at some point, whether it's this year or next year. Um, This is up to you. How safe do you want to be? How risky do you want to be? Or how lean you want to be? That's up to you. Property taxes for the home is roughly 216, 217 if you want to round up, or 2,600 per year. Um, this will roughly go up every year to 2 years. This is my insurance down here. I like to go. I mean, you want to call it a little bit riskier, 5% deductible. You very rarely use insurance. It's for catastrophic. Tenant burns down the home. Um, that's about it. Or somebody crashes a car into it. It happens, but not that often. So roughly $60 a month. Not too much, but it does come out to $720 per year. So decent chunk change. Um, and then this is the same total overhead. Interest payment by month is 1618. Expected damage per month 150. Property tax 216, and then insurance premium 160. Um, all right, so we'll go over here. So this is total gross rent per month, 1450, which comes out to 17,400 for the year. And then down here you have the monthly expenses, 1,044, which comes out to 12,532 per year. So if like I mentioned before, this is a variable rate. So that 7% might be, pretty nice right now. It might be 7.5 next month. But it might also get knocked down by 0.5% next month. So that's the only downside. Plus side is I technically don't have to pay a principal. But typically how it works with HELOCs is they expire in 10 years, or you basically renew it for the cost of the loan. Usually they're pretty cheap because it's a loan to value is it's so low based on a asset that if I don't pay this back, they could technically take my personal property as collateral. So like they're not worried about it. It's just free money to them. Um, so we are now at net for the month. So not too bad, not horrible. 40567. Again, this is everything going well and going as planned. And this comes out to 4,868 for the year. So the main reason I picked this property is you can really see the difference. Okay, what happens when I pay this loan off? Well, this 7% no longer goes to the bank, goes to me. So you take this net per year. Now it's not increasing your gross. Your gross stays the same. What changes is this. Your yearly expense gets downgraded or basically removed by that 7,420. You get to keep that once the property is paid for. I know a lot of people say, use debt as much as you want. I'm coming from a more conservative standpoint, you don't need 30 or 50 properties to be wealthy. You need 3. That's it. 3. Another thing I went over in the video last time, I know it was a little bit choppy, um, but gross rent multiplier, or gross rent multiplier for the property I'm reviewing today. So the 1450 times 12 months for the year gives you that 17,400. So anyone can look this up on Zillow or what have you, and get a rough estimate, or Redfin, and you can get a rough idea. Okay, how much can I actually rent this? Now, obviously, that's going to be gross rent. That doesn't account for any of your expenses, property taxes. You gotta look that up. Rough insurance, expected damage. So this property was built back in 1950s. So it does create a little bit of a variable. Plumbing can be an issue, as well as electrical um, was already updated when I bought the home. So that was kind of a plus side. Um, and it is on a slab, so that's a good thing. Um, so location multiplier is where this M comes from. So you have the gross rent, which is gross. So you have monthly rent times 12. This is your gross rent. So this down here is your GR. Over here is your multiplier. Now, it's up to you to figure out what this is. Why is this location a multiplier of 12? You know, school systems, okay. Availability to jobs, um, and just overall, how is everybody else doing in the neighborhood? Is it on par? Multiple factors in this, so kind of play around with it and figure out, okay, is this logical? Um, so if you wanted to buy this property outright and make zero investment gain, this would be your price. Um, but if you are looking to buy it as your personal property, it's also your retail market. Um, if you're purchasing this for your personal residence, this is roughly what you might pay. Um, to have the property. Obviously, as an investor, you want to knock that down by about 30%. Obviously, the more you knock it down, the better you gain on your investment. Um, I simply go with 30% because that is what a wholesaler is looking at. Um, okay. And here's a little side note. Up here, um, so this green right here, typically when an asset is paid off, meaning that 7,420 goes into your bank account, this is the best you can do. Unless you get some outstanding deal, this is basically the best you can do. your expenses will roughly stay between 40 and 30% expenses, meaning the best in net income you can do is between 60% to 70%. Basically, the less expenses, the more net income you get. That's pretty much the basics of it. I hope you guys enjoyed this a little bit more. This felt a little bit more structured. So moving forward, I might continue to do this. Hope you guys have a good rest of your Sunday. And hopefully Monday morning isn't too bad for you. So this is probably my favorite ratio right here. Gives you the 1 or 100% for the year minus actual total overhead expenses right here, giving me 28% for my net for this property. And then this lets me know if I had to, for whatever reason, this would be my retail. So comparing this number to what I now have in it, I have a decent amount of equity if I wanted to sell it. But I would pay through the nose because of selling it to the retail market, agents, bank, everybody wants their cut, um, as well as capital gains. All right. Everybody have a good one.